All right, we're live. Hey, everyone. We are so excited to welcome Brooke um, from FryEd Technology. She's back with us for another one of our spring webinar series. This is Bulb Digital Portfolios, and I'm Bria Jones. And tonight we are going to be talking about how you can use Google Classroom if you're a Google Classroom user, how to use that really well with Bulb. And so we have our Google expert, Brooke, and she's going to kind of walk us through some of that integration and how to be able to use that best. So if you have any questions, please just chat them to us on the Hangout platform, or excuse me, on the YouTube Live, and we'll get those questions answered. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Brooke.
All right, sounds great. Well, hello everyone. I'm glad you're watching to find out a little bit more about Bulb and the portfolio platform that Bulb provides, and also how that works inside your classroom. So tonight, the first thing I want to really get into is the difference between what goes on with Bulb and the management system of Bulb, and what also happens when you use an LMS like Google Classroom. So let's first start talking about Bulb. So this is where you create your actual portfolios, where you are going to create portfolios, where your students are going to create portfolios, and then they are housed here. This is like housing any other program that you may come into. There are some different organization features inside of Bulb. For example, you can have a collection, which is kind of like a folder that you put pages into. I always like to think about it like a file cabinet. That's just the way my brain works. So a file cabinet thought is that a collection is like a folder, and then I have pages, pieces of paper type thing that goes inside of my file folder. So collection and pages. So I do have my own organization within the system of Bulb, but if I'm using an LMS or a learning management system, especially Google Classroom, I can I don't have to just stick inside of the Bulb platform and kind of take my kids there and have them do things there and check student work only in that area. I can integrate and use that. It's really seamless with still using your Google Classroom platform. So that's kind of what I want to show you again. And I'm going to continue to talk about the Google Classroom is an LMS, which is a learning management system. So that means it's going to host your students. You're going to be able to post your assignments there. You're going to be able to see who's done and who's not done really easily. And you'll be able to kind of put your grades and keep them safe in that spot as well. So I have a few Bulb portfolio pages here that I've created. And this one is one I use when I'm training with Bulb and working with teachers. And as you can see, I've gone in and I've added text and a few links. This is a Google Slides presentation that I made. It embeds beautifully right inside of my portfolio. As long as my permissions of my Google Slides is set that anyone can view, it will be available for my students. If I don't want it to be everyone can view, then I can make sure I add my students there in the back side of that, and they'll be able to see it inside their Bulb because they'll have permissions. And then here are some images that I want them to have inside of their asset library. And then this is a great example of showing a PDF and a video. So what's great about this page is if I wanted to create let me talk about science. If I wanted to create a science lab and I wanted students to watch certain videos, and then I wanted them to follow a set of procedures, and I wanted them to take notes and journal their thought and their process throughout their lab, I could create what is called a template inside of my portfolio. So instead of the kids having to start from scratch and having to look maybe at another document or look at the board or a printed piece of paper that you've made with all of those steps on it, you would create it directly inside a Bulb. And then when you publish your Bulb, this little master guy down here at the bottom, this little check mark, he is very magical. I really can't talk about how magical this makes your Bulb page. And it makes this a template. So that way, when your students get this, they're going to be able to use I'm sorry if your screen is going crazy because I'm scrolling. Down here at the bottom, your students will be able to see this button that says Use Template. And the moment they click on that Use Template button, then they will have their very own copy of this portfolio. It's just like using, going in and making a copy of a Google Doc and that sort of thing. But this way, it's going to be stored beautifully inside of their portfolio. They can keep it inside of their collections where they want to keep it. They can publish it to anyone later at a later date and time that they want to see it. So you want to make sure that if you're sending something to your students and you want them to make a copy of it, they're going to use this Save This as a Template feature. You're going to make sure you click that here. And then right now I have it visible to the public, so it's going to be easy for me to grab the link and put it in my Google Classroom. So I'm going to show that now. Up here at the top, and I'm hoping you can see my link, this is the link that I need in order to put into my Google Classroom. So I can just copy. And then this is my Google Classroom that I started, and I'm going to create an assignment. So I click on the plus sign, go to create assignment, give it a title. Yours is going to be really specific. If it was just for a group of students, you could use your groups here. If you had multiple classes, you could send it to multiple classes by checking. And then here you're going to give them those instructions and just let them know that this is going to be a template piece. Oops, there we go. All right, so now that they're going to select the Use Template button, I'm going to actually put Use Template button because that really will help with students to know that it's a button there. Whoops. Sorry, my page kind of switched over on me. Gotta love that. There we go. All right, we'll try that one more time. I must have clicked something fun. All right, we'll do that
always
one more
poorly
time.
on a Monday. You know,
It is.
Monday
It's a Monday. It's a live webinar. It's what happens. So scroll to the bottom and click Use Template button. I always try to either bold or use capital letters so my kids kind of know that that stands out a little bit there. And then I'm also on this assignment, they're going to have to add back in their link. Once complete, submit or link. So they're also going to submit their link as well. So now when I click, I can put my due date. I can put maybe this is homework. I could create a topic and write homework, or maybe this is classwork, or it's a lab, or anything that you want it to do, however you have your topic set up in Google Classroom. So now I'm going to put in that link that I copied earlier. I'm going to hit my link. So now it's in there, and I'm going to click Assign. And then we're going to cross our fingers and hope that everything goes according to plan and that it's posted in the stream. It's taking just a second. So see, there is my beautiful Training Assets Bulb page right there. And then I have joined this class as a student on this side, and I'm hopefully going to be able to refresh and see that assignment. Because it's really important for a teacher especially to know exactly what their students see on the other side. So here, now I'm logged in as the student, so I can't add anything here. I can click open, but there's nowhere really for me to add. I can comment to my class, but in order to get this, I click on here or the open. It's going to open my link for me. And remember, as the teacher, I said that they're going to go to the bottom of the page, and they're going to click on that Use Template. I'm going to say, yeah, we're copying the template. That's awesome. It's going to do its magic. And then we're here in a second. We're going to see that we're going to publish later. We're going to see my copy of the template page. So now as a student, I could go in and change anything that I wanted to change here, and then that's going to be something that I'm going to submit back to the teacher. Let me remind you that anything that is in a template will go to the student's asset library. So that's a very easy way to share images. I have teachers asking me all the time, what is the easiest way for me to share images with my students for them to have access to use them in their portfolios? Let them know that if they put it in a template, it will go into their asset library. And then it's there for them to keep and to use in other portfolios. They don't have to use it just in that exact template that the teacher gave them. So that's a really big plus. So I'm actually going, just so you can see the difference here, I have another one opened. This is an about me that I've made. And I'm going to use this as the student example. So here I've created my page and I'm ready to send this off to my teacher to be seen. If I don't want it to be to the public, I can take the public off. I can take my group off here. And let's say, I'm going to say Bria is my teacher. I'm going to search for her username. And that's something that my teacher has probably put into Google Classroom as well, the exact username, so that I know exactly how to find her or him or her in the search for users.
Oh, so Brooke, that's a great tip for people, is to for a teacher to put their username in that assignment in Google Classroom so that the students can see it. And for the teachers to know what their username is, because maybe they aren't quite sure about that terminology.
Right.
It's whatever the URL is at the top. So bulbapp.com/Bria Jones or Brooke Lowry or Mr. Rogers, whatever your URL is, bulbapp.com/ that after the slash is that username.
Great. Let me see if I can pull mine up. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this, but mine is Fried Brooke. I don't know if you can see it on your side. So that's my username. Probably wouldn't be able to find me if you didn't know that that's what I had named that. So that was a really good tip too, Bria. I didn't realize that was the exact way to search for the username. So that's really great. So now that I've given Bria permission, when I click publish, she'll be able to go in and look at this page. She will have the rights to that as well. So now when I take my URL from here as a student and copy it, I'm going to go back to my student view here and click open. My teacher said to make sure I submit my work back. So I go to add and link. And now I'm going to put that link that I had in there. And guys, I'm telling you, I've seen this from experience. I have seen kids in 2nd and 3rd grade be able to navigate Google Classroom very, very easily. Sometimes I really know that it's the teachers. We hold them back. We think they're not ready. They're not capable. And they may not get it the very first day you do it. You're going to have a handful of kids who still ask, I don't know how to do it. I don't know. But that's just the same as they don't remember how to sign up to use the restroom or doing those other things. So it's not just a technology block. It's just I want you to tell me one more time how to do things. So don't let that hold you back, because kids are sneaky, and we know that, but they love technology. So let's get it to them. So now here I've turned mine in and I click turn in. I say, yep, I'm done. I'm going to turn this in. I'm going to switch back over here to the teacher side. And I'm the only student in this class, so it will show that everyone is done. Here we go. So now I see here that one student is done, which is the one that I just turned in, and then there's my link. So as the teacher, they can go in and see this. I didn't put my username on there, but I did it to the public, so it's able to open. Then I can go in. And so now that I'm back into my Google Classroom, I can do my grade. I did an excellent job. I mean, I really did. Just did a great job.
Fabulous.
Fabulous job. And then I can click return. When you're the only student and you're the only one on the side, you can compliment yourself all day long. There we go. And now I've returned that grade to that student. I have this for my grade book, and then my student view over here. I'm just going to refresh. Oh, it was already there. I didn't need to refresh. It showed that the grade had been returned to me and that I had 100. So here we go, 100 out of 100. And then my comment from my teacher. So if this were for a draft, Bria and I were talking about this a few minutes ago, about what this would look like, especially using this when your kids are still in draft form of their writing and their projects and the work that they're creating for the portfolios. This is a good way to keep tabs on their draft process as well, because now I could resubmit this to the teacher the next day. Once it's returned, I can then change whatever needed to be changed, look at those inline comments that the teacher's going to leave on my portfolio for the areas that need to be improved or the things that I'm still missing. And then once she returns that to me, I can fix what I need to fix and resubmit for either the final grade or waiting for the cue that it's ready to be published live. So it's not always about the grade. Just always remember that. It's not always about the grade. It's about making sure that your students are putting their best work out there, something that they're proud of. So you want to make sure you're checking that throughout the process.
Yeah, I think that's such a great tip, Brooke. And, you know, Bulb does have that inline commenting feature, and that works within our group functionality. And so as a teacher, you can have a group within Bulb and actually leave very direct comments and feedback to students. And so we have a couple of great videos about that on our help pages if you want to take a look, or you can always reach out to us if you have any questions. And Brooke might just show you really quickly too. But so you have the ability to leave comments right within the Bulb platform so that they're saved within the Bulb pages. And then you also have that comment feature within Google Classroom, which I don't know if you would say this, Brooke, but would you say like the comments in Google Classroom are probably like overall comments you might give that attached to a grade, and the ones you leave in Bulb are probably more about like editing and refinement, those kinds of feedback ones?
Yeah, because your inline comments are truly going to be the comments for, like, you know, think about your wording choice here, or did you forget this step, or maybe this needs to be a bit clearer, because you don't want them to have to look at their Google comments in the classroom and try to figure out what part of their essay or what part of their project you're referring to. But those comments that are between the student and Google Classroom and the teacher, those are their private comments about their work. So you could say, you know, hey, you're on a great track. This may not be your best work. What are we doing differently from last time and this time? Do you and I need to schedule a time to get together to work on this? It's really just your conversation piece that's going to happen inside of Google Classroom. And it's just between the teacher and the student inside of the comment section on, let me look at on this side again. This is just right here, add a class comment. That's me talking to the whole class. But when I'm actually in the assignment here, these are private comments between me and the teacher. So be aware of that as well when you're using Google Classroom. And the class comments are wonderful because there's sometimes that students can say, hey guys, I think I'm understanding this. Is there any classmates out there working on this right now that want to give me some help? And then it's not always about the teacher telling everything. The kids really can help each other out and give some ideas. And I've seen kids use it in a great way.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea. Yeah. What a great way to crowdsource, have them figure out how to help each other out. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Well, I mean, I hope that helps get that going with Google Classroom. I think it works seamlessly. And if you're already using Google Classroom, then you're not changing your system. You're just implementing another engaging piece and another place for your students to make these beautiful keepsakes that's showing their very best work.
Yeah, thanks so much, Brooke, and I agree. So Google Classroom really is that management side of your classroom where you do all of your assignments and notifications, and then Bulb gets to be that portfolio where you're documenting process and showcasing your best work and having those key pieces of a portfolio which you're watching growth over time. And then, as we know, that portfolio always goes with students, and so that's really exciting that those students always have that work in their hands. So thank you for your time and your expertise, Brooke. We appreciate you. And if you guys have any questions, our help pages on Bulb are a great resource, or email us at help@bulbapp.com, and we would love to chat with you. You take care, Brooke.
Thanks so much. You too. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Bye.